Hey guys, Mr. M here with your week 2, day 3 ratios, rates, and unit rates math packet. Recall a ratio is a comparison of two numbers using division, and a rate is a special type of ratio. It compares down two different units, so miles and gallons, miles and hours, dollars and apples. And then a unit rate will bring it down to one, right? So maybe miles per 1 gallon, or how much per apple or per ounce. All of that information is going to help you figure this out here. This part right here, that's all ratio karate, right? Think about a fraction, your colon, and then the word 2. So if you remember ratio karate, you should be good. Down here, the hardest part is going to be identifying these shapes that have been photocopied off photocopies. So these are apparently the girls. Sorry. And then this is a dog, I guess. It's more of a blob, but it's a dog. Anyway, that'll be the most challenging part. Read the instructions and make sure if you're told to simplify as you are here, you're doing that. Speaking of simplest form, it's going to be very helpful here. I'll read this because, again, another copying error. You can see it's not the clearest thing, but it says write each ratio as a fraction in simplest form using a colon and using the word 2. So you only need to write two forms of ratio karate. I'm going to show you what can happen, though, if you're trying to... So this one. First of all, if I write this and this as an answer for number 1, that is incorrect. 3 sailboats to 6 motorboats. But you might be saying, but Mr. M, those are the appropriate ratios. They are appropriate, but they're not in simplest form. Please remember that when I'm going to simplest form, I think it's always helpful to use it as a fraction. I know it's not telling you to use a fraction, but when you look at it in fraction form, you can then think, do these two share any common factors? Yes, they do. It's 3. I can divide by that form of 1, right? 3 over 3, and that's going to get me 1/2, which I would then place back into these right here, 1 to 2 and 1 to 2. All right, so you can see that this and this, these two would be your answer for number 1. And now the ratio 21 wins to 9 losses is a fraction in simplest form is what you're being asked to do here. So that's very similar to that work I just showed you. Reading the work here, determining whether the ratios are equivalent. If you're creating tables of equivalent ratios, make sure you start with the fraction in simplest form, okay? Ask yourself, is 3/4 in simplest form? Is 12/16 in simplest form? Okay? You have to take something down to simplest form if you want to confirm that that they are equivalent or not. That's work that we covered very recently in school, so keep that in mind. All right, bargain hunting activity. Be careful with this one. It says for each exercise below, rates are given in column A and column B. Figure out the best buy. So you're going to take the unit rate here, right? You're going to put that unit rate right here. And then you're going to put the unit rate for this one here, and then tell me which one is essentially cheaper, right? A better buy, we're not assuming that, the apples in column B are a better apple or something. You're going to assume they're identical quality, and then you're going to figure out which one. So for this, you may realize when you start dividing 59 cents by or just 59 hundredths of a dollar, you're going to get something that doesn't really make sense. You don't even have to divide all the way. Just think. Is it going to be more or less expensive than 19 cents for 1 apple as it is to 59 cents for 3 apples? You could also think, how much would it be for 3 apples instead of taking it up to a unit rate? There are a few ways to solve this, because remember, this is your goal. These two columns are really the work, okay? But when possible, list the unit rates down here. And you're going to do that for all of these. There's a number of them. You can see the numbers get kind of large and off, but this is shopping, right? Ask the adults in your household. When you're shopping, you've really got to keep up with this, or you can get burned at the store. All right, rates and unit rates. Again, please make sure you can go back to the beginning of the video where I explained what rates and unit rates were. And just read the instructions here. All right, guys, that's today's video. If you have any questions, as always, let me know. You can email me and keep up with putting these in the Dropbox, right? When you finish an assignment, take a picture of it, put it in the Dropbox so it doesn't build up. Keeping up with the Dropbox will be very helpful.